Ahoy folks, Craigo here for Pure Xbox because despite its delay, we finally got our hands on Open Roads to see whether it's any good or not. Now, before we buckle up for the onward journey, this review was written by PJ O'Reilly for PureXbox.com and turned into a video by me. Let's hit the road.
Your family had a summer house?
Well, it was more of a cottage, I guess. We spent the summers up there for a long time.
Want to start looking around?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is good. Mom's gotta see this.
Open Roads has been described as an interactive movie mystery thriller, one that plays out in the form of a deeply personal road trip. Of course, this particular road trip happens to be the creation of the devs behind the fantastic Gone Home, so it feels as though a good old mystery filled with plenty of thrills is exactly what we're gonna get given their past form. And oh boy, do we love a good mystery thriller. Two words there that absolutely get us all riled up.
Is that dried blood? Ew, 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 ew. Why on earth did I just touch that?
So it's a real shame then that this particular experience has such straightforward mysteries and a shocking lack of any kind of thrills whatsoever. Yep, Open Roads, and we're actually a little shocked to report this, has turned out to be a strangely bland experience, even as it grapples with emotional subject matter and a narrative setup that should have us blowing snot all over our TV screens.
A road trip! This is gonna be great.
The overall core setup here will be very familiar to fans of Gone Home. You play the role of Tess, a 16-year-old who's off on a road trip with her mum, Opal. This is a trip which will see them discover hidden truths about their shared past, as well as giving Tess an opportunity to strike out, assert herself, and begin to become her own person. As expected, the game covers its fair share of emotional subject matter, death and loss, the importance of discovering our true identities, our bonds with our parents, and a bunch of other stuff which, honestly, if we're gonna sit here and detail any of the major plot points, well, there's not gonna be very much left of this 2 to 3 hour tale for you to discover yourself.
The government's always looking for money.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, if I find it, you'll be the first to know.
We're not going to go too much into the narrative here, and really the narrative itself isn't particularly bad in any particular sense. It covers all of the expected bases and gives us a little bit of its, is it mystery?
Oh, cool.
Okay, well there is a little bit of mystery, but it doesn't really feel like a very compelling one. The main issue that we had is the letdown in how this story unfolds, tempting us with number stations and Ouija boards, but never really following up in a way that grabs us, in the total lack of engaging mechanics. Busy work like clicking on every single bit of scenery or moving a very obvious object to bridge a gap is all you've got.
This is so stupid. We're trespassing.
The story hasn't got the expected depth or grit to feel particularly absorbing either. Basically, it all feels a bit too stylized and obvious. Everyone is just a bit too hipster and accidentally good and cool at stuff. Like, where are all the ugly and completely untalented people in these stories?
Wow, this is from when Grandma was really young.
We also have to dock points for a system of investigation that requires you to call Mum every time you find anything of note. This repetition is then further exacerbated by a Scooby-Doo inspired art style that has characters not moving their mouths during conversations. A stylistic choice? Well, it was a bad one if you want us to feel like we're fully engaging with these characters.
No video games back then, I guess. Poor, deprived kids.
Now, we're not completely unaware that it does feel as though we are being quite harsh. So for now, let's focus on the good things, eh? The acting is superb for one thing. Of course it is. They've got top-notch talent in the form of Kerry Russell and Caitlin Dever, and they knock it out of the park because that's just how they roll. There are one or two moments as well, cheeky little asides from Tess during conversations mostly, that gave our inner rebellious streak a chuckle. But jeezo, are we allowed to say that it all feels very, very low impact and low stakes? Like, surprisingly so. Alongside the fact that it ends so abruptly, we were sort of left sitting in shock at our screens saying, is that it? Not that we were marking it down for being sure. Where's the sustenance here? Where's the mystery and the thrills? Why aren't we coming away from this feeling as though we've learned or considered anything new or of note? Unless you count turning on the car stereo for a 15-minute George Bush rant in 2002 on American home ownership. Like, I mean, there's that.
Trevor's just telling me they produce 3 million burritos a day. For a man who likes burritos, I'm in heaven.
Also, the actual open road aspect of things, it's given us the desire for an epic trip with that moniker. It's given the vibe that we'll be doing a lot of moving around and spending time in the car between locations. You know, really digging in for some big old chats and stuff. And although this game does manage to give us more places to explore than expected, the whole car journey element is very underplayed. There's no real sense of any great amount of time having elapsed, which hurts the potential to engage us properly on an emotional level.
What highway are we on anyway?
In the end, this should feel like a very personal and emotional game, and it should affect every player that approaches it differently. It's got the inbuilt relatability of being a story about the things that will happen to all of us in the course of our lives, the painful memories, the forgotten stuff brought to the surface, the shifts in perspective that occur between parent and child as they grow alongside and apart from another at the same time. And it's that stuff that's beautiful and sad and inevitable. We all know it. These are the things that make us who we are, and they're dealt with delicately here. But did we learn anything new? Were we inspired or moved or compelled or engrossed? Well, not this time.
It's actually pronounced Bowie.
What? No, it's like the last name, like David Bowie.
Different last name. Bowie.
Are you just messing with me?
Now, on the subject of performance, we mostly played open roads on PC for this review, and we experienced some light stuttering and pauses in places, so not a clean slate in this regard either. And we can also confirm that these same issues do appear to be present in the Xbox Series X version 2, which is the version we captured for this review.
Ugh, Mom, please quit already.
Open roads, in theory, should be another Gone Home style success story. However, what we've actually got here feels strangely by the numbers, surprisingly short, and very light on actual drama, mystery, or thrills that genuinely compel. At around 2 to 3 hours long, you won't need a lot of compelling to see it through, mind you, but overall this just feels like retreading the same sort of ground with much less of an effect. There's superb acting and it all looks great, but sadly the narrative just isn't doing it for us this time around.
Wow, did I hit a nerve?
Hey, maybe we should keep looking around for more relevant things.
Well, there you have it. Open roads really isn't the gut puncher we here at Pure Xbox had our hopes up for, though if you're an achievement hunter like myself who fancies adding another relatively easy 1000 Gs, then acting like a sassy teenager for around an hour or two is a pretty decent way to get it. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out PureXbox.com for more reviews like this one, and subscribe to the channel here too. Like if you liked, dislike if you didn't, and all that's left to say is bye-bye for now. Cheerio!